everyone, I am Kanika and I'll give you some content about lawful agreements. What are lawful agreements? They are the agreement which is not forbidden by the law. It is a nature and if permitted, it will be defeat the provisions of any of the law, which involves fraudulent, involves or implies injury to the person or the property or court regards, which is immoral or opposed to the public policy. In these cases, consideration of an object of an agreement is said to be lawful. Every agreement of the object is consideration unlawful is void. Voidness is applicable. Then, if we will come more on the content of lawful agreements, we come to an question that when agreements become a contract. An agreement becomes contract when it is enforceable by law. In other words, it can be enforced in a contract when the condition of an agreement will enforce and given in the under contract and specified in the section. An agreement is a contract is made for some consideration between competent parties. What are these competent parties in the agreement is made? The free object and the lawful object. In section 10, it provides what is a contract. Then, nothing but content shall affect the law enforced in India, not expressly or impliedly repeat, by which a contract is required to be made in writing or the presence of witness, or any law relating to the registration or documents. Every contract is an agreement, but every agreement is not a contract. How and why? It will define by some valid conditions given in contract. First, there is some consideration for it. Second, the parties are competent to contract. Third, existing of consent of parties. Fourth, their contention free. Fifth, if they are lawful. And last, the agreement is not expressly declared to be void. Then, the agreement must be made for some consideration. How? In the contract, it is defined as when the desire of the promisor, if promisee either does do something or abstains from doing something, the act is going to be abstains. It is called consideration. Moreover, it declares that without consideration, it is void. However, there are certain conditions given in section 25. Without consideration, it is to be treated as a valid one. First, competent to the parties. Second, free consent. Third, lawful object. These are some conditions where we say that yes, it is a contract. Now, going in further and deep, what is competent parties? Minors, person of unsound mind, person disqualified by law. Free consent, the parties which have agreed to do something in the same sense to the consent of the party who not been obtained by something. First, coercion. Second, undue influence. Fourth, misrepresentation. Fifth, fraud. Last, mistake. What is lawful object? It is very important to consideration of the object to contain that it is lawful. First, it is unlawful when it is forbidden by the law. Second, it defeats the provision of any law. Third, it is fraudulent. Fourth, it implies or involves the injury to person or person to defeat another. The court regard is immoral or against the public policy. Then, the agreement has been expressly declared to be void. When, if agreement is declared expressly by the law, it is non-enforceable. But what are the difference between domestic agreement and commercial agreements? Domestic agreement is an agreement when two people usually in family relationship. It is assumed the domestic agreement cases that was no intention to create illegally binding agreements or court are often reluctant to enforce these agreements. Then, if we come to commercial, the commercial is an agreement contract between parties where both are required to do particular activities or refrain from doing something. वो रोका जाता है ना काम करने के लिए. Commercial agreements can be verbal, in writing or implied in a formal or informal letter. To breach a commercial agreement, one of the contracting party fails to perform their part of agreement. This is used to mostly by the people, business community that includes the corporate sector and the industrial sector. So, coming to a conclusion, a contract is legally binding agreement that exists between two or more parties to do something. An agreement starts from the offer and ends with the consideration. But a contract has to achieve another target, enforceability. Due to the breach of contract, illegal remedy should be provided to the aggrieved party against the guilty party. Thank you so much. I hope you find a little content about my unlawful agreements in the last video and lawful agreements in this video. Thank you so much.